Hello, my loves. How are you? We're at day 8 of the Higher Self series. And the reason I'm giggling is because I actually started a video for you guys, and I started it with a specific topic around transmuting the separation story. And I went down a whole big rabbit hole that I'm sure was relevant, but I just felt like it wasn't going to line up with the original topic. So I took this as a sign. Those messages will find their way to you if they're meant to be. But for right now, we're just going to dive into what messages are going to be the most supportive for you today. Maybe they'll come in a new way, or other things are going to come forward. To me, the way that that occurred felt like exactly the energy that we're in. There's a lot of potentials and possibilities. And I just want to ask her what's going to be the highest, most beneficial message for you to receive today around your higher self, inner union, unity consciousness messages for today. All right. Let's see what we go. Okay. So, okay, right, what I'm getting out of the gate is that there's many of you that have been working in these higher self energies, and it's time to go into that embodiment. It's time to take what you've been learning and start practicing it in the physical world. This has been a very common theme that we've been talking about on the channel. So the fact that it's coming out front and center, even though we've been talking about it, this is making me feel like there's more for us to dive into with this. So I'm going to get the Shaman Dream deck, and we're going to go a little bit deeper with it. Okay. What else can we know about this embodiment of what we've been learning? Is there messages that want to come through to help us navigate this specifically, or another perspective? What's going to be supportive? Oh, okay. Wow. So this card, Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call, came forward. And this um hit a very interesting pocket for me right here, right now. And it's coming into those places and spaces, like right in between, like where we've held back from receiving the results of what we want because we thought it was supposed to happen a certain way. This might be why this connects with the separation story, because whether it's separation from the higher self, from a divine counterpart, from aspects of yourself, your inner child, in essence, when we feel that loss, that dream thief, and we drop into those energies of feeling disempowered. Wow, something really deep is hitting me with this energy. So just give me a moment. I want to tap into this deeper because this is a lot more than just what these cards are bringing forth. I feel like this is connecting in with some of that dissociation that I picked up on in yesterday's message, and that we were going to work on in the group coming up on 222 for restoring sacred masculine and feminine essences. Okay. So it's coming through that I want to hold space right here and right now for the collective here on the channel, masculine or feminine. Any place in our systems where we felt our dreams were stolen, siphoned, or where we dissociated from them, thinking, what's the point of pursuing them because I'm not going to achieve it anyway? Or why would they want to be with me? Why would I get to receive all of that when the track record has always told me else, something else? This is streaming back to that thread from yesterday that we spoke about. And it also connects with kind of the compartmentalizing that's been happening in the systems. It's a protective mechanism. So, yep, I want to take some deep breaths and drop into taking some of those deep breaths into the heart space. And I would just like to ask to help to dissipate the dissociation or the beliefs, the separation story that we're separate from our victory. Okay. It feels like we've known this bigger vision for ourselves, but then it feels like, well, how do I get there? I can't see the bridge. And then maybe in the meantime, while you're trying to sort through that on your bridge, there's all this chaos and confusion, external energies, um, all sorts of distortion energy that clouds up that dream vision. And getting caught up in the belief that the dream is not possible is the actual dream thief, is what's coming through. But when we can drop into owning and knowing that it's safe to ground into our victory and our truth and actually release and unravel the expectation of it happening a certain way in a certain time with a certain person or with certain people, it actually frees up the chaos and the confusion. Just align with allowing yourself to unravel the old story of separation, allowing all of your energy and essence within you to come back to your body. Where you felt your dreams were stolen, call your energy back, loves. Where you feel or experience that someone else is in your place, call your energy back, loves. Drop into you. Where you feel like you were supposed to be someplace else, call that energy home to you. Regardless of what you're seeing externally, call your essence home to you. Anywhere you've left parts of yourself, of your subconscious, anywhere you shut them off, froze them off, blocked it off, ran away, felt pushed away, shoved away, rejected, dismissed. In any place where your attention was focused elsewhere, I would like you to take it and turn it and focus it inward. And I would like you to bring those dreams back to your heart. Take complete and full ownership of your entire dream, all of it. Anything that was being projected externally that hasn't shown up in your physical world. Now, if you're already in a connection or you're in those dream makings and it's working, keep going. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking to those of you who have felt somewhere within you that part or some of your dream has not been available to you because it's been in the hands of someone else. Okay. And this is actually in our collective energy and essence. And that's why we're going to dissolve it, because it's the story that's being told, it's the story that's being pumped through the collective consciousness on this planet over and over and over again. It's why many people are in those fight or flight modes, why they're arguing over what's right and what's wrong and who they should vote for and what laws should be in place. A lot of that is at the core of it from an energetic sense, people fighting for what they believe, but they're fighting for what they think will keep them safest, right? Or what is the most just, because there is a part of them that's not feeling safe. There's a part that's not trusting that they can create the life that they want. They're looking externally for other things to help them feel safe and create the life they want. And in a sense, yes, it's part of it. I'm not saying not to follow what feels right to you, but I'm talking about us taking our power back, redirecting it back to the self, and realizing that we have the ability to co-create the life that we want, regardless of what's happening around us. Okay. And it doesn't mean that everything around us is perfect. It means we can take responsibility for ourselves, our dream, instead of thinking, well, this is happening there, so I can't create my dream. Like, it's funny because it's coming through this. Some of you might be feeling, oh, my counterpart's not showing up. I can't create my dream. Or the law in my state says I can't do this, so I can't create my dream. Or you see the blocks and then think that that means that you can't create your dream. But I'm here to say that there is a solution, that if there's a roadblock in front of you, it could very well be because that's not what's meant for you right now. And if we can change our perspective around the block, the external block may be there, not because you don't deserve it and not because you're not getting your dream. Maybe you're being blocked because that's not where you're supposed to be. Maybe there's someplace new for you to go. Maybe there's a whole different space or place or experience that's waiting for you. And once you stop looking at what you've lost and start opening up to what's for you, it changes the whole scenario. And so it's like retraining our brain to say, oh, that's not a clear path for me. Let me take a step back and do two things. One, I'm going to check internally where my limiting beliefs are and what I can work towards. I'm still going to move towards my dream, but maybe the path I was trying to head down wasn't my actual true path. And so it feels like it's stealing my dream because I'm trying to focus on this thing that wasn't actually for me. But if I take a step back and go within and then align with what my victory is, all of a sudden this whole energy starts to dissipate because it doesn't necessarily mean that the dream isn't going to happen. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the what you thought isn't down the road for you. But what it does mean is if it's blocked right here and right now in this exact moment and it's not coming to fruition, it's because there's other things for you to do in the meantime. Or it's going to come in a different fashion. Okay. The bottom line is if it's in alignment with your purpose and what you're meant to be doing, and you know that part, let go of how it's going to come to you and what it's going to look like, and just trust and know that you are going to be victorious in all that you're here to do. This has happened to me multiple times, and this is actually how I work. Right before I started the Inner Union series, my schedule was quiet, even my local schedule here in my hometown. But now, since what happened when it got quiet, my higher self was pushing me to open up on the channel. It was pushing me to go deeper and to uncloak myself and open up more and be more vulnerable and let myself be seen. Okay. I didn't know what was going to happen around that, but it did open up and I did start to connect with a lot more new people here on the channel. Okay. And as that found its rhythm over the last few weeks, what's happened is now people here at home in my hometown have started calling me too. But for a while, it was blocked. It was quiet. It was crickets. It wasn't because I don't necessarily belong here right now. It was trying to show me that I needed to expand to open up and connect with more new people in a new way. And then once I did that, things started to balance back out at home. So it wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me. It didn't mean I wasn't supposed to do this work or that I was supposed to disappear. It meant that it was time for me to level up into a new space. Okay. But this is how I decided to look at it. I could have sat back and said, okay, Nothing's happening. Maybe I'm supposed to go get a job. Maybe I'm supposed to go do something different. I had those thoughts go through my head, but none of it felt correct. Like, none of it felt correct. Like, I know that this is why I'm here. I just wasn't sure what the best bridge was going to be to connect with people who were looking for me. But then I just got out of the way, got a download in the shower to do an inner self series. I did it. And here we are for those of you who have found me, right? It's important that instead of going into the mindset that the dream is done, pack it in, time to go home. It might be in some cases. I was willing to look at that. I'll also tell you, I was willing to walk away. If this wasn't what I was supposed to be doing, I was 100% okay with letting it go if that was part of what was necessary too. Okay. I was just open to whatever was for my highest alignment. And when I got the guidance, that's what I followed. Okay. So if something isn't lining up in the way that you need it to, allow yourself to expand your perspective outside of the area where you're feeling stuck and limited. Open up to a new perspective. Be willing to do something different. And the main bottom line to all of it was that I just kept surrendering to my highest power and my highest timeline. And I was truly willing, even in the moments where it felt scary and uncertain, I was just ultimately willing to go all in on myself and my highest alignment and see what happened. Okay. And so I've done like this is something that I've had to train myself to do in many instances because sometimes when we feel blocked, it can be disconcerting. There's also been other times where things were not working out and I kept trying to force it into place. I kept trying to make it work. That didn't work either because there was other answers in that other perspective. So if there is a block, if things are not flowing, that is a signal that it's time to get a new perspective. Okay, loves. It could be that you just need some thawing or some support. It could be that there is another path for you to take to get to your dream. Okay. It doesn't mean the dream is stolen. It doesn't mean the dream is gone. It means that you're being called to a different experience because there is something that you need on that pathway that's going to help you build that muscle to sustain the dream. Okay. I'm going to pick one more with this. Moving out of stagnation. Yes. So this to me, this right here, this moving out of stagnation is like moving out of that energy of thinking that you're not going to get what you want or that it's all blocked or that you felt frozen and stuck in this limbo phase. It's releasing the stagnation around that, knowing and trusting and aligning with your truth that everything that you came here for and that you've known in your heart and soul is on its way to you. And it's simply waiting for you to release yourself from the beliefs in the stagnation that it's not happening. Okay. This feels really important. Winter's dream gestation period. So it's like as you're moving out of the stagnation, the new is like it's been grow. What I'm getting is like, you see this? It was growing underneath the whole entire time. It's always been there. The dream was always there underneath. It was always safe. And as you're moving out of the stagnation, it actually gets the space to develop and grow. Okay. Because as you let go of this idea that it's not possible or that in your certain circumstances, maybe it isn't. That doesn't mean that that's where you stay. It means it's pushing you to out of the stagnation and into your true timeline. Okay. What else do we got with this? Yes, I love it. So all of those dreams, those seeds that you've been planting, they're ready to start to come to fruition. Okay. And wow, this is hitting, it feels really broad to me. The more I sit with it, and it just felt like that most important message of knowing that if there is some form of a block, it's one of two things. Either you're meant to go a different direction to get to where you're wanting to go, and there's something you need on that new pathway, or you're actually you might be feeling blocked because you're actually ready to level up to your next levels. Okay. And you're feeling kind of squished where you are. They're showing me a vision of like the seed just sitting there and like ready to pop, right? And just needing the space and the grace to be able to bloom and blossom. I'm feeling this quite significantly in the collective here on the channel. I feel that there has been, like I've said, there's been so much more growth occurring within you. And like it's ready to just kind of clear out where maybe you had this smaller vision of yourself so that your full true self can come to fruition and actually bring into physical manifestation the life that you've been dreaming about in these higher essences. Okay. All right. I hope this was helpful. Bottom line, if you want to work on this deeper, join the group on 222 because we're going to be working with dissolving and then dissolving any of these energies, right? Gaining the new perspectives. Obviously, you can watch the series and get the support until then, or I have one on ones available, but allowing yourself to truly dissipate out of the limitations and letting those things inside of you that have always been there grow. All right, loves, you have the power. All right. Love you. Hope this was helpful and that you have a beautiful rest of your